Razavani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to have with me. Is that a nice beanie hat you're wearing there, Spence? Mr. Spencer Fearon, the knowledge. How are we doing?
It's a black cap, mate. There's a difference, Raz, but you know what I mean?
It looked like it from my angle, but as I look closer,
black cap. Black cap.
How are things?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm good. How's things your end?
All good, all good, all good. Spence, yeah, just thought we could quickly little catch up. For the last 10 plus years, Matchroom have been working with Sky Sports. We all knew it changed. It was the first program with Dazn on Saturday night. Just kind of want to get your first opinion on the kind of new surroundings and settings for all of us.
It didn't seem much different from what we used to get at Sky, to be honest with you, right? But what I do like the magazine shows that they're putting on, that Dazn are putting on. I like the fact that Addy and Tony Bellew doing their bits. You know what I mean? Maya Jama, go through the list of people that they got on there, which is, it's very clever. It's very, to bring in a new set, a new market of interest, which is kind of cool because it will appeal to the casual fans. And like, so yeah, that I rate what they've put together. I think it's very, very clever. But if you know Eddie Hearn, he's pretty smart like that, or he will align himself to what's hip and what's popping. So, I mean, he's a very, very smart man, intelligent man.
We saw obviously during the week, last week, when they had the red carpet launch, a lot of people turned out, and I didn't know most of the people that turned out, but it looked like when I was checking the Instagram following, it seemed like most of them had multi-millions of followers.
That's the smartness of Eddie Hearn. He's aligning himself with what's hip and what's fashionable. You know what I mean? And he doesn't miss a trick. And not only that, it's like first time out when Matchroom first came out, and then like a lot of the old guard they kind of got rid of, and a lot of people in the industry, so now it's a liberty what they're doing. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to appeal to that younger generation, and it's worked for him. Let's see, because you got to think Sky Sports is a juggernaut right now, right? But you know what I mean, I'm hearing a lot of rumors about what's going on. You know what I mean, rumors that Dazn are going to buy TalkSport, rumors that Dazn are going to buy BT. We're hearing this, right? So it's not me talking out of the blue. These are things that are going around, and if that is, that's going to be massive, because I mean, he hasn't come. If that is the case, Eddie Hearn hasn't come to play; he's come to conquer.
No, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the fight card itself. Let's start off with top of the list. Kanzu was obviously the WBA regular champion. Leo Santa Cruz was the full champion. I know Leo hasn't fought at the weight for a couple of years. Kanzu
2 years we haven't fought at the weight for. You know,
Kanzu was supposed to fight Josh Warrington. That fight didn't take place a couple of months ago. Lee Wood's come in, a big underdog. Obviously a great win last time out, and Ben Davison, who's now his new trainer. Did you expect Lee to win?
Yes, but I was simply because if you look at the record, Kanzu's not a big puncher, right? Lee can punch. Kanzu's got a lot of work rate. But if you look at the style of Ben Davison, how he gets his guys fighting, it is from an elongated left hand jab, right? Where you'll keep it out long to keep your range, and you fire from there, but then you pivot off, and then you're back to, like, you hold center ground, elongated hand, right hand, left hook, back on your jab, then pivot out, and then you do the same thing. And then it will give you confidence to build off of that momentum. So you'll throw the 1-2, back on the 1, then you go with a 3 with the left hook, and then maybe sometimes you feel a little bit ambitious and you throw a right uppercut, and then you go downstairs left hook. Watch the fight. So these are the patterns that not saying that he trains all these fighters the same, but this is the pattern that they're working off. They're working off traditional pads, where it is like you're focusing on that to throw those hard shots, but be back on the jab. So they're not really throwing pity-patty shots. These fighters don't throw pity-patty shots. These fighters throw hard shots, right? Even from a relaxed stance, they throw hard shots. And they usually throw it off of the back foot, not off of the front foot. They throw it off of the back foot. So yeah, I mean, credit where it's due. And I like Lee Wood. I remember seeing him in the Golden Contract, so I like him. He's neat. He's a neat fighter. And I mean, I'm really, really happy for him. I'm also happy for Dave Caldwell as well.
the featherweight division.
And big up Barry Smith. All right, because Barry's my mate from a long time, so I just want to mention that as well because I mean, yeah.
The featherweight division is flying. Obviously, this weekend we've got Jazza and Barry Kid Galahad. We've got Josh Warrington rematching Lara as well. So Lee can certainly put himself in a big fight domestically if the rematch doesn't take place with Kanzu. If Kanzu obviously declined to rematch.
Well, there was talk. I heard that there was talk that there's a rematch clause.
That's right.
Right, and even if there's a rematch clause, I can't see what Kanzu's gonna do much differently. That was a fantastic win by Lee, and that's gonna give him so much confidence. And we're gonna see a different him next time out because he's gonna be buzzing and he's become a world champion. You know what I mean? And we got props to everybody involved in there. You know what I mean? MTK, Dazn, Eddie Hearn. It was a it's a good start. I mean, it's a very, very good start because he was the underdog and nobody didn't think he was going to win. But when I was watching it, I was saying, this guy don't punch. You know what I mean? This guy don't punch. He throws loads of punches, but he doesn't punch. And, you know what I mean? He does hit hard, though, but he's not concussive. So he had 3 knockouts in his career. So that's the worst thing. So you're doing that and you're trying to come forward to a guy that can punch, who's taller than you as well. You know what I mean? But you know what? It's easy to be smart after a result. But if you spoke to me earlier, that's who I was going. I was edging like, oh, what do I think? And you can't listen to the bookies because when you say like the bookies bet from the head and not the heart, yeah? And the odds were overwhelmingly in Can's favor, but it meant nothing. And I can't listen to bookies because bookies don't know more boxing than me. So that's that.
Spence, a great fight between McCarthy and Billum Smith. Very, very close fight, evident on the judges' scorecards as well. Did the right man get the nudge at the end?
Of course it did. Close fights are close fights. Close fights are not robberies, right? And I'm going to tell it how it is. I like Tommy McCarthy, but I like Billum Smith as well because I actually like Shane. And it was a person that seemingly wanted it more, got the decision. And this is no dish. And I want Tommy McCarthy to listen to this, right? Because I'm not saying anything in a disrespect. Maybe he doesn't realize how good he is. Because he's a very, very good fighter. You know what I mean? He does little solid moves in there, very like on little like his inside work. And like from how he throws his jab, it's like he watches a lot of Riddick Bowe, former heavyweight champion who famously beat Evander Holyfield. He's a good fighter, but I'm going to be real with you. It seems like in somewhere in his department, by his demeanor, he doesn't elude confidence. I could be wrong, right? But it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't because like certain times when he was getting hit with shots, it seemed to me from where I was watching it from, you know what I mean? On my TV screen, it seemed like he was feeling a little bit sorry for himself. So because of that, that's why I believe that it was a close fight, and it was a close fight. It was an excellent fight. But because like in the earlier rounds, even though when he caught Tommy with an overhand right. Oh, sorry, he caught Craig Billum Smith with an overhand right. But he didn't seem to stamp the authority. It was like on certain times he's feeling sorry for himself, or it's like you know when you're poking the snake, but you don't really want to antagonize it. You're poking it, you antagonize it, but you don't really want to hurt it. And I think like he knows if you perform like that without that form of confidence, I think, you know, him to administer a little bit more confidence will come out victorious. But I believe that the right man won, even though people were saying who were watching saying, nah, they thought it should have been the other way. I think Lawrence Okoli, Richard Rackport thought that it went the other way. But from where I was sitting down and watching the fight, I believe that the right guy got the decision. It was a close fight, but I believe that he can come again. And I would like to see the rematch because it was an excellent fight.
Spent just away from the weekend show. Obviously, it was announced on the weekend. Anthony Fowler stepping it up October 9th, I think it is, or 10th, in Liverpool.
The 9th. It's October the 9th. So it's the same night as the rematch between Anthony Yard and Lyndon Arthur.
Against Liam Smith. Now, obviously, Liam's been there world level, been in there with the Canelos and kind of the elite level. Fowler really hasn't been at that level yet. What do you think of that fight?
Well, I think of that fight. Let me tell you this. it's disgusting how criminally underrated that Beefy Smith is, right? Beefy Smith is one of the best fighters in this country. I'm being real with it. And like, and if he's got anything left in his tank, and I saw his last fight out, which he had it in Russia, which was a very, very close defeat that he lost on points too. I remember he was the away fighter as well. So you know the rules, you're 2 rounds down just by when it starts. I would say that I like Anthony Fowler as well. This isn't an easy fight for either of them. But I'm saying Liam Smith is criminally underrated, and I would slightly favor Liam Smith in this fight. For the simple things is that he's more multifaceted than Fowler. Sometimes, even though Fowler's loosening up, because Fowler used to be very, very stiff, and I'm gonna get in the neck from Fowler tomorrow on Instagram. But I'm saying, like, on a fight like this, I would slightly favor Beefy. For he's been in with a higher caliber of opponents, and he's got a very good engine on him. He's got a very decent chin. He's been in with the better opponents, Mungai and Canelo, right? And he's been a world champion, so he knows what it's like. And as long as he's got the fire in his stomach, which I believe that he will, I think if he admires the right game plan, then he could come out victorious. But it's going to be great, because is he still with Joe Gallagher, or he's not with Joe Gallagher no more? Is he still with him?
I believe he's not with him. I've heard he's not with him, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, after a while, a fighter knows what he has to go and do to perform. He's been a professional for a hot minute. You know what I mean? He comes from very, very good fighting stock and a very good fighting lineage. They'll be sitting there working at game plans. They'll be watching fights. You know what I mean? They'll be watching. But I'm still impressed with how Fowler has come back from defeat, from the Fitzgerald defeat. And I like how Fowler, like, he times the shot, then he drops the right hand. Times it, then he drops the right hand. But I would like to see him pushing out his jab more, because I see the pad work that he does with Shane, and he does push out his jab very, very neatly. I like how he gets the pivot on his left hook as well. So it's going to be an interesting fight. But what I am saying is this, like, I think it's disgusting how people have really, really downplayed the accomplishments of Liam Smith. I've known the Smith family, like, their old man's the diamond guy. I've known their family for a very, very long time. So I would slightly favor, if Liam's got anything in the tank, I would slightly favor him to come out victorious.
Spence, this weekend, you've got probably 2 of the nicest guys in boxing, 2 of the most hardworking guys in boxing, who live and breathe in the gym, Jazza, Dickens, and obviously Kid Galahad. Kid's obviously second attempt at world title. He obviously lost to Josh Warrington in a very, very close fight. Jazza, who's lost a Kid 7 years ago, and I know this is a completely different fight now, but have you been able to kind of sit down and analyze and say who you think is going to win this fight?
No, ask me on Friday. If we do the next one on Friday, I'll sit down and study both of them properly, because I saw Jazza in the Golden Contract. He boxed very, very well. Yeah. And he's evolved his style a little bit, because before he used to be very, very bullish and throw hell for leather. And now he's gauging it to be more technical with his trainer, Mr. Vaughan, who's a diamond guy. And he could make history as being the oldest British boxing trainer to have a world champion. You know what I mean? If he was to come out victorious. But, you know, the Ingalls and that style of if you look at Kid Galahad, you'd have to go back to Kid Galahad is one of the closest guys that I would say from the Brendan Ingalls stable who actually boxes like Harold Graham. Right. But the thing is, he needs to stamp authority on his punches. This fight is going to be actually, I'm so looking forward to this fight. I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. But like I said, Friday, I'll talk to you and break that one down for you, because I'm gonna watch him again. You know what? Because I can't go back, which happened 7 years ago. The maddest, this is the craziest thing for me. Like, I watch boxing, and you say, what, they fought 7 years ago? And I think, right, that seems like it was last week to me. It's crazy, right? So I'm going to sit down and watch him properly, and then I'll give my truer opinion on it.
Okay, we'll catch up on Friday. Spence, always a pleasure, my man. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll catch up later on this week.
Yep. And before I head out, you know what I mean, I want to say a massive, massive thank you to MTK Global and the foundation. And at the time, it was Sandra Vaughan, who arranged funding to help a young man, Kai White, right, and the rest of the kids at the Peckham BMXing, who's run by CK/MB, and to see Kai White come out, you know what I mean, with a silver medal at the Olympics. And if you knew this kid's backstory, I have to big up his mum and dad, Tracy and Nigel. I know his family very well. I'm the patron of Peckham BMX. I've been a patron for 16 years now. To see this young man do what he's done, and I have to be so grateful to the people that has helped within the journey, because like, you know, it is now, it's like everybody's jumping on this bandwagon. You know what I mean? He's got his party tomorrow, which is he's coming home parties tomorrow. So I'm going to be down there. But I am so proud of that young man, because he's actually a beautiful human being. How his demeanor, how he carries himself, and everything else, and like, yeah, I'm still gobsmacked.
No, absolutely
Incredible. So, but we got all the kids down at Peckham BMX, and keep on doing your thing. And as CK Flash always says, one way up.
Spencer Fearon, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Cool, my man.